Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and we got a trailer for She-Hulk. Well, you guys remember a couple of months ago, we got a teaser trailer for several Marvel projects, and we got a tiny bit of She-Hulk in that. But since then, nothing official. But now, we got the first full trailer for the upcoming Marvel Disney Plus series. And I have to say, overall, it does not disappoint. Now, I've edited it up a little bit in the background, but I recommend you go check it out before you watch the video. It's over at Marvel Studios' YouTube page, and it's definitely worth a watch before we dive in. Now, there's a lot to be taken away from the trailer, and clearly this is going to be an origin story type of movie. We actually see a car accident happening during the trailer, and I highly suspect this is what happens to Jennifer, and leads directly to that infusion where she got her powers from her cousin. This is very similar to how it happened in the comics, but it was always clear there was going to be some sort of event that triggered all of this and forces Bruce Banner's hand before all of this goes down. Speaking of the Hulk, boy does the Hulk look pretty cool in this trailer, and he clearly is going to be a big part of at least her training phase of the series. Now, there are a couple of questions I take away from this. First and foremost, where is the Hulk living? It really does look tropical. Not that it's not the perfect place to train, but I am curious on what Bruce Banner is doing post-Avengers Endgame, and that cell that he has in the lab, if that's actually in his basement there, that's a pretty big deal. Now, this does appear to be towards the front end of the series, but hopefully Ruffalo makes it through several episodes. The Hulk and Ruffalo really do look great. Now, there were a lot of other clues in the trailer that gave us some indication of what's going on in the series. But before we look at it all, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the updates. Also, the big giveaway, we got this Oculus Quest 2 at 50,000 subscribers. All you have to do to get in on this contest is be a subscriber and leave us a comment. Now, a big part of this trailer seemed to very much focus on Jennifer Walters' personal life. And at this point in her life, dating is front and center. Now, we get a lot of talk about this in the trailer, but probably the biggest thing to take away was the reference to Tinder. Watch that part of the trailer carefully. The job titles on the candidates are pretty interesting, and quite honestly, I did laugh out loud at the closing shot of her carrying the guy through her apartment. Now, one thing that I do think is going to play a much bigger deal in the wider MCU, and will be one thing the series definitely influences, is superhero lawyering. Now, we've been told superhero lawyering is going to be a big part of this series all along, but I actually think it might be the central plotline. Remember, the MCU world has exploded with powered people, and this is a rather neat and very real-world side effect. We know for a while they were sticking supercriminals in the raft, but I suspect if that was going down in our world, eventually there would be some sort of court ruling that would force these people into the system and eventually bring them to the courtroom. I think that's exactly what's going on here. There also looks to be some big government facilities in this trailer. Now, this could be the raft, but I do suspect it's someplace else and will probably be introduced in the story to accommodate some of these new directions that the Marvel Universe is taking with how the legal system there handles supervillains. Now, speaking of supervillains, we did get some teases of a couple. We saw Tim Roth twice, once as Blonsky and once as the Abomination, so it's pretty unclear to me where they're going with him, and I had a sneaking suspicion based after his appearance with Wong it might be more comical than villainous, but the Abomination does have a history there. We also got a quick peek at Titania, as well as somebody who what appeared to me to be in a green Power Ranger outfit. I have no idea who that guy is. If any of you guys know, please let me know down in the comments below. I appreciate it. Now, one thing I did notice though was no signs of Matt Murdock or Jessica Jones, both who have been rumored to be in the series, but obviously that's unconfirmed and I didn't see any sign of them in the trailer. Now, there's a big elephant in the room here and it's not a positive, so I wanted to address it last. Some of the CGI in this trailer is wonky and I think still requires a lot of work. There are several shots where the She-Hulk just feels off. But when you watch the whole trailer, there are some others that look complete. I actually think there's still probably a lot of work going on with the CGI. This isn't uncommon with many of these projects, and we know She-Hulk is a really heavy CGI project. I think there was probably a timeline on this trailer, and a lot of these shots are probably still being worked on. There was one shot in the apartment where it looked like the lighting was off, and she looked almost like a classic animated character drawn onto a real-life cell. Hopefully, Marvel takes care of all this. They have a track history of doing some really great CGI work, so there's no reason for us to get overly concerned yet. I think these are things that are still being worked out in production. Now, we still don't have a release date for this. We know it's going to be in 2022, but we did report the other day that the official blog on Disney Plus's UK site did leak the premiere date the other day, but they took it down, and they pegged a release date at August the 17th, 2022. So hopefully that's when we get it. But until we get more news, what do you guys think? What did you think of Marvel's next entry into their Disney Plus series library? And how did you feel about some of the action shots of She-Hulk throwing down with Hulk? Sound off in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you're not getting any updates. Peace.